And as you probably know, the Jaguar Mark II was used by the police in the UK in the 60s. And the reason that the Jaguar Mark II was used and the Jags were used at the time was because the robbers were all using the Jaguars and the police couldn't catch them. And it was used even in the great train robbery, the Mark IIs. Now this is an S-type. And the Wolseley. And the Wolseley as well was used prior to the S-types, the Jaguars. The Wolseley would have been in the 50s, early 60s, and then the S-types were used in the later, mid to late 60s. As I said, used because it was the only way the cops could actually charge or catch the criminals. In fact, the Mark II, I think Kieran will probably confirm this, the Mark II, I think the S-type were called the getaway cars, really, at the time. Hi Kieran, tell us something about your beautiful S-type.
Well, these were used in the London area as traffic cars, the white ones. They had back ones prior to these without the sea lamps on the roof, which were used as ordinary patrolling area radio cars. This one is reminiscent of a mid-60s period. The Harold Wolseley and the Wolseley over there would have been the traffic car prior to that. Wolseleys were used from 1932 in London up to that model and the 6110, which faded out about 1967 because BMC weren't going to make any more of those. So in that period of time, the Met decided the best thing to do was to look at other makes. So Jaguar and Coventry sent down 3 of these with 3.8 litre engines for a running appraisal over a period of 6 months. At the end of that, they ordered 240 black ones. They followed it up the following year with 87 white ones.
Any reason why they went for the white ones as against the black?
Well, at that stage, motorway areas in the greater London area where they required greater traffic patrolling. The Wolseleys were unsuitable for traffic patrolling on motorways, so they picked on these in the outer districts.
And what is your understanding why? We just move away from the echo there. What is the reason that you reckon that they went for the S-type?
That was another feature. The county forces were using the Mark II, as you know. They were plain white cars on motorways with a blue panel on each front door. The Met decided on the S-type because of the amount of specialist equipment they were carrying to deal with accident scenes. And they quite often used to take the rear seats out, all the cones, and all their heavy lifting gear and that kind of thing into the back. And the large boot on the S-type was ideal for that kind of thing. They were a bit cramped in the Mark II, the boot wasn't as large.
And going over to the Wolseley, again, why did they choose the Wolseleys? I mean, it's a big car, isn't it? I mean,
it's a 3 litre engine in that thing. It's a 2,912 cc. And it's quite powerful, twin SU carburetor type machine. Lots of people confuse it with the A60 Cambridge.
Why did they need in the 50s such a powerful car?
Well, I suppose the villains were using, they were beginning to use more powerful cars in the 40s, in the immediate post-war period. There was a lot of crime involved in vehicles in the London area. So it was a carryover from pre-war years actually, because in pre-World War II they were using Wolseleys anyway, traditionally. And then in the immediate post-war period, they went for Wolseleys again. Some of the cars they used were obviously pre-war cars, and they added Hummers and snipes as well as area cars. So the Wolseley and the Hummers ran parallel up to about 1950, and then they concentrated mainly on Wolseleys in the London area. I've actually got 3 older Wolseleys than that, dating back to the 40s, which all of these cars are used in the film game. So.
And yes, when you think of the film games, I mean, there was a lot of the cars used. Tell us some of the films the Wolseley has been in.
They were quite popular in a lot of the films that were made in the 1960s. There were 2 characters, I knew them both personally, Joe Wadham and Jack Silk, and they actually had a supply of vehicles for use in the film industry. And they actually ran a private hire company, and they had a 6110, which you'll often see in the old films, 716 TPD, and all the equipment was kept in the boot. And when it wasn't doing chauffeuring work around London, if they got a call from Bournemouth or one of the other Pinewood or one of them that they needed a police car, they'd run it up to the studio and put all the equipment on it.
And good. Tell us about the S-Type. That's been some films as well, hasn't it? No.
This is its major, or its maiden appearance in public. I only completed the work on that about 3 weeks ago. It was a 2-year job, and there is possibly a film in the offing towards the end of August, but it may be in Britain. There is an identical car to that in Sussex at the moment, and it's possible that that one and the other one will appear in this film. It's something to do, I don't have the storyline yet, and all I know is that it's got something to do with a motorway accident.
Well, there's something that I hope you have it on, have you, the radio? There's something that I'd like you to hear inside in the car here. I'll put the microphone into the car, and it's an actual recording of some of the, I think if you can explain it, Kieran, exactly what it is. I'll come around to you. Kieran is, okay, this one here. This was the Ferguson family in Northern Ireland had main involvement with the Wolseley. Kieran? Anyway, okay, put your hands together for Kieran Kavanagh, and David says he is his guest over. He's president of the Wolseley 680 in the UK.
Wolseley 680 and Morrison's in the no club.
Okay, put your hands together for the two guys. Thank you very much for bringing along your two Cops cars here this afternoon. And it's Harry Cole coming around in his old Humber here. It's a 1925. We're going a bit back now. In 1925, bowler hat and all on Harry as he drives around with the open tourer 1225 Humber.